The good and the bad about Donald Trump. Welcome to a thought-provoking journey through the tumultuous presidency of one of the most polarizing figures in modern American history. Get ready for a roller coaster ride through the highs and lows of the Trump era. This is TOP USA Entertainment. Don't forget to check us out on Facebook. In this video, we will explore the complex tapestry of the good and the bad about Donald Trump. Love him or loathe him, there is no denying that Donald Trump's time in the Oval Office left an indelible mark on the United States and the world. Join us as we navigate the highs and lows of his presidency, delving into the policies, decisions, controversies, and achievements that defined his tenure. Get ready for a balanced and comprehensive examination that will challenge your preconceptions and provide a nuanced perspective on the 45th President of the United States. We'll uncover the surprising, controversial, and sometimes jaw-dropping moments that define Donald Trump's presidency. Buckle up as we navigate the good and the bad of this unforgettable chapter in American history. Whether you're a political junkie or just curious, this is a journey you won't want to miss. The rise of Donald Trump in politics. Love him or hate him, there is no denying that Donald Trump's rise in politics was a phenomenon that took the world by storm. From his unexpected victory in the 2016 U.S. presidential election to his controversial policies and outspoken personality, Trump has truly left a lasting mark on American politics. One key aspect of his ascent was his ability to tap into a deep well of discontent among many Americans who felt ignored, marginalized, and economically left behind. Trump's unique brand of populism resonated with people who were disillusioned with traditional politicians and yearned for someone who would shake up the system. By focusing on issues like immigration, trade deals, and national security, he tapped into fears and concerns that had been simmering under the surface for years. His unorthodox communication style, often brash and divisive, allowed him to bypass traditional media channels and connect directly with supporters through Twitter, rallies, and unconventional interviews. However, while Trump's rise excited many of his supporters, it also ignited heated criticism from opponents who viewed him as an unpredictable loose cannon, unfit for public office. His disregard for political correctness, coupled with derogatory remarks about women, minorities, and political rivals, made headlines around the world, both shocking many and endearing him further to others tired of what they saw as an overly polished political establishment. Whatever one's opinion on Trump may be, one thing is certain: his rise in politics marked a turning point in American history, whether it fueled divisions along partisan lines or exposed deeper economic policies, boost or bust. One of the key aspects of Donald Trump's presidency was his approach to economic policies. On the one hand, his tax cuts and deregulation efforts were hailed by supporters as measures that would stimulate economic growth and create jobs. The Tax Cuts and Jobs Act of 2017 significantly reduced corporate tax rates and provided temporary relief to individuals. However, critics argue that these policies disproportionately benefited the wealthy and did not have a meaningful impact on average Americans. Another significant policy initiative under Trump was his aggressive stance on trade, characterized by imposing tariffs on countries like China in an effort to protect American industries. Supporters argue that these actions would help level the playing field for domestic businesses and bring back jobs to America. However, opponents raised concerns about potential retaliation from other countries, which could escalate trade tensions further and ultimately harm both domestic industries and consumers through higher prices. Overall, while Trump's economic policies appeared promising in some regards, their long-term effects remain uncertain. In a complex global economy, it is essential to carefully weigh the potential benefits against the possible risks before embracing any policy changes wholeheartedly. Immigration stance, controversy, and consequences. As president, Donald Trump's immigration stance was one of the most controversial aspects of his presidency. While some praised his tough approach to border security and executive orders like the travel ban, others criticized him for policies they believed were inhumane and discriminatory. The consequences of this stance were far-reaching. Families being separated at the border, increased tensions with neighboring countries, and a decline in America's global image as a champion of human rights. But perhaps one of the most overlooked consequences is the impact on America's economy. Despite promises to create jobs for American citizens, Trump's policies often led to labor shortages in industries such as agriculture and construction. Farmers struggled to find workers to pick their crops, while construction projects faced delays due to a lack of skilled laborers. These outcomes highlight an ironic irony that by barring immigrants from entering the country, Trump inadvertently hindered the economic growth that he had promised to promote. Overall, immigration has always been a contentious issue in American politics. While it is essential to address national security concerns and ensure proper vetting processes are in place, it is equally important not to lose sight of our values as a nation built by immigrants. The controversy surrounding Trump's immigration stance underscores how complex this topic truly is, one that calls for nuanced solutions that balance both security interests and humanitarian concerns. Foreign relations, diplomacy, or disruption. Foreign relations have always been a crucial aspect of any nation's stability and security. Diplomacy, the art of conducting negotiations between countries, has traditionally been the preferred approach to ensure peaceful coexistence among nations. However, with the rise of Donald Trump to power, disruption seems to have become the new norm. While some argue that his unconventional methods bring long overdue change and challenge the status quo of international diplomacy, others see his disruptive actions as detrimental to global stability. One cannot deny that Trump's approach has left a lasting impact on foreign relations. His widely criticized decision to withdraw from international agreements like the Paris Climate Agreement and the Iran nuclear deal sent shockwaves through diplomatic circles globally. Such disruptions not only strained America's relationships with other nations, but also undermined its credibility as a reliable partner in future negotiations. On the other hand, supporters argue that Trump's disruption was necessary to renegotiate deals that they view as unfavorable for U.S. interests. By taking an assertive stance against China's trade practices or demanding increased financial contributions from NATO allies, they believe Trump successfully challenged long-standing norms by putting America first. While diplomatic professionals emphasize maintaining stable relationships through measured dialogue and compromise, Trump's disruptive approach has sparked debates about whether traditional diplomacy remains effective in today's global landscape. As countries grapple with this question, it is imperative to assess both the short-term consequences and long-term implications of such disruptiveness on international peace and cooperation. Ultimately, finding a balance between diplomatic engagement and disrupting established norms will be vital. Social issues, progressive or regressive. In the realm of social issues, the question of progressiveness versus regressiveness is a contentious one. Some argue that certain policies and actions pushed forward by Donald Trump's administration have advanced society, while others claim they have caused significant setbacks. One area often debated is immigration. Supporters argue that stricter border control encourages national security and protects jobs for American citizens. However, critics counter that such measures perpetuate xenophobia and hinder the country's diversity and inclusivity. Another hotly contested issue is healthcare. The Affordable Care Act, ACA, commonly known as Obamacare, saw significant changes under Trump's presidency. Advocates claim that dismantling parts of the ACA decreases government interference and allows for greater individual choice in healthcare decisions. Conversely, opponents argue that such actions leave millions without access to affordable or adequate care, highlighting inequalities faced by vulnerable populations such as low-income individuals and those with pre-existing conditions. In conclusion, there are valid arguments on both sides regarding whether Trump's policies on social issues were progressive or regressive. While some may see his administration as advancing national security through tighter immigration controls and individual choice through revised healthcare policies, others contend these actions promote exclusivity and disadvantage certain groups within society. It is crucial to engage in informed discussions to uncover the true impact of these policies on our societal fabric. Leadership style, strengths and weaknesses. When it comes to leadership, Donald Trump has a distinct style that generates strong opinions. One of his strengths as a leader is his decisiveness and ability to take bold action. His no-nonsense approach appeals to many who want swift and decisive decision-making. Additionally, he has proven himself as a skilled communicator, able to connect with audiences on an emotional level, which helped propel him into the White House. However, Trump's leadership style also comes with its fair share of weaknesses. One major criticism is his impulsiveness and lack of long-term vision. Rather than taking the time to carefully analyze complex issues, Trump often makes snap decisions based on gut instincts and personal biases. This can lead to hasty policy changes or statements that are not well thought out, causing confusion and turmoil both domestically and internationally. Another weakness in Trump's leadership style is his tendency towards autocracy rather than collaboration. He tends to surround himself with loyalists who may be hesitant to challenge him or provide differing perspectives. This lack of diverse viewpoints can hinder effective decision-making and result in the isolation of valuable expertise from within his own team. In conclusion, while there are strengths in Donald Trump's leadership style, such as decisiveness and effective communication skills, there are also notable weaknesses, including impulsiveness and a preference for autocracy over collaboration. Understanding these strengths and weaknesses sheds light on the reasons behind both the adoration and frustration that have defined his tenure in office. Evaluating the impact of Donald Trump. In conclusion, evaluating the impact of Donald Trump is no easy task. While this presidency was marked by controversy and divisiveness, it also brought about significant changes in various aspects of American society. On one hand, supporters argue that Trump's policies on tax cuts and deregulation helped boost the economy and create job growth. They credit him with renegotiating trade deals like NAFTA to protect American industries and workers. Furthermore, they appreciate his conservative nominations for Supreme Court justices who upheld their values. On the other hand, critics argue that Trump's tenure was marred by his fiery rhetoric, disregard for traditional political norms, and divisive policies, such as the travel ban targeting predominantly Muslim countries. They believe he exacerbated racial tensions in America and weakened diplomatic relations with key allies. Additionally, many point out his failure to address pressing issues like climate change adequately. Ultimately, evaluating Donald Trump's impact requires a nuanced analysis that takes into account both positive and negative outcomes. By understanding these aspects fully, we can form a more comprehensive picture of his presidency's legacy in America. However you view his tenure in office, there is no denying that Donald Trump left an indelible mark on the nation's political landscape, a mark that will continue to shape future discussions and debates for years to come.